Frustration is mounting and anger is growing with the liberals and passive politicians. Learn the playbook of those who are trying to destroy our country. From the blue-collar professor, he teaches, he leads, he speaks out for truth and justice. Now, the educator of all things conservative, your host, Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
I am telling you, things need to quit happening in the middle of the night here in Texas. I'm not getting any sleep. I'm waking up cranky. This is not a good thing for me or anybody else around me. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the program, the Friday edition, as we close out the week. If you would like to connect with the show, you can do so via the web, www.thegavinmitchellshow.com.
The leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
All right, folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
The wrong way. Welcome to the place. Welcome to
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Whoa! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started again.
Email me anytime you'd like, Gavin at thegavinmitchellshow.com. And we are on Twitter at The GM Show if you would like to give us a follow. So a couple nights ago, we had the whole Democratic set in, and I couldn't turn the TV off. I was laying there in bed, and maybe the problem is I have a TV in my bedroom. But I'm laying there in bed, and I keep waiting for Paul Ryan or the Republicans to do something, and I can't turn it off. I look up, it's the middle of the night. I got to get some sleep. Tomorrow's coming whether I want it to or not, and it's coming quick. And so I didn't do well there. Very irresponsible on my part. Well, last night, the Brexit vote happened. And because of the fact that the UK is clean on the other side of the world and they're so many hours behind us, all of this went on in the middle of the night, and I couldn't turn the TV off. I wanted to know the outcome. And the results are in a very close vote. I've seen some results say 51-49. I've seen 52-48. Regardless, it was incredibly close. But the people of the United Kingdom, the people of Britain, have decided that they want to leave the European Union. Now, I would love to sit here and tell you on this Friday here on the Gavin Mitchell Show that there are just a whole bunch of people over in the UK that magically became conservatives overnight, that magically want conservative principles. They want to close their border. It's just not true. It's not reality. There isn't some type of enlightenment that liberal principles are going to ruin your country. That's not what this is. I would love to tell you it was, but it's not. It has nothing to do with that. What this is a result of is, call it the populism, call it nationalism, call it whatever you want. But just like here in the United States, the people of the UK are sick of being lumped into a group. They're sick of this socialistic approach. They're sick of just open borders and one world government. That's not what they want. They don't want their country, the great empire that is and was Britain. They don't want to be just another country in the Union. They don't want to be equal with Greece. There's no reason for it. And they're fed up and they've had enough, and they've seen the result of this whole mass migration. They've seen what these refugees do when they're let in droves. They don't assimilate to Britain's ways and their culture. They don't adopt their language. They bring their own culture and their own language into the country. And they're coming in waves of millions. And the people have had enough for a number of reasons. We've talked about some of those. Some of the reasons are they're tired of their women getting raped. They're tired of not being able to walk down the street safely. They see what's going on in Germany. The fact that if a family during the summertime wants to go enjoy a day at the pool, there are hours in which men can go swimming at the public pool, and there are hours in which women can go swimming in the public pool because the German officials cannot trust these Syrian refugees, these Islamic Muslim beings, to not rape women in the public. And so they have to segregate by sexes. They've done the same thing with mass transportation. They see that going on there, and they see the problems they have in London and in other cities where this refugee wave has hit. And they don't want it anymore. They're sick and tired of this idea that we, Western countries, have to save the world. We didn't, well, let me check myself right there. I was about to say, we didn't cause the problems in Syria, in Libya, in North Iraq, in that whole area. But we kind of did, didn't we? Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton did create these. And maybe that's why they're so dedicated to this idea that they need to fix it. And they need to fix it by opening up our country. Well, the people of the UK aren't having it. They want their country back. They want their country to be great. They don't want to be lumped into a group and just be a number. They don't want open borders where anybody can come and go. They've seen the terrorist attacks. They don't want that. But being a member of this European Union means exactly that. That's part of the deal. Not only is the euro a currency that's floating around, but probably more importantly, the European Union means if you're within the Union, it's just like you're within a country with states. If you can get into France, if you can get into Italy, wherever, you can roam Europe freely. You don't have to have a passport to cross these borders between countries. You don't have to have a passport to go from one to the other. You can just go. And it's very much like the United States. If you can get in the United States, you don't have to have a passport to go from New York to New Jersey or New Jersey to Pennsylvania. You can just go. And that's what they've tried to do in Europe. People don't want it. People are sick of it. Moreover, if you look at what swayed the vote, and this is interesting to me, it was the Labor Party up north that really kicked this thing through the uprights for the Leave campaign, the Brexit movement. These are people up north that, if you had to equate them with someone, I guess you would equate them with the Democrats, because the Labor Party is the party of the working man, right? It's the unions and the blue collar guys. But you often hear the Labor Party and you think communism. And so, with all of that said, the best equivalent I think we have are the Democrats here. And isn't it ironic that something that would be equivalent to the Democrats are what said, hey, enough's enough. They're tired of their jobs being taken by people who just walk into the country. They're sick of it. And so they casted their vote. And if you look closely and you paid attention to this, Prime Minister Cameron, he hitched his wagon to the EU. He was going down with that ship. Barack Obama had the audacity to fly over to the UK and tell them what they need to do, that if they leave the European Union, they're going to the back of the line as far as a possible economic trade partner with the United States. He had the audacity to go into another country and tell them how they're going to behave. He had the audacity to tell them that they would effectively, he didn't come out and say it, but you might as well, they would no longer be the strong ally of the United States that they had been all these years. Which just absolutely leaves me scratching my head, because he's willing to go to Cuba and go to ball games and dinners and have all these conversations with the Castro brothers in a communist country. He's willing to cut deals with Iran, the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism, but he threatens our longest tenured and strongest ally in the world. If you don't buy into this idea of no borders, one world government, socialism, you're out. And the people of Britain just effectively told him to, they shot him the finger. They said, hey, you're not our president, dude. You can go right back over there to Washington, D.C., and you can ruin that country. You're not ruining ours. And so they cast the vote and they're out. And this is huge news. Because while this wasn't a conservative movement that did this was nationalism. This was populism. This is citizens wanting their country to be great and taking the reins back. That's all this is. I wished it were a conservative movement. Yes, it has conservative tones. Yes, it's a conservative ideal, but make no mistake about it. They're not all of a sudden going to make sure there's balanced budgets and pro-life movements and every religious liberty. None of that's happening over there, right? But the fascinating part to me is that the one piece of the UK that has threatened to get out and threatened to get out and threatened to get out in Scotland has decided that they wanted to stay. They wanted to stay, and if you look at the numbers from this poll, they voted very strongly to stay in the European Union. Well, why is that? This is a country that's part of the kingdom that they haven't seen the trouble that these refugees bring. They haven't witnessed it firsthand. That flight, that wave hasn't reached that point yet. Now, there's been a lot of chatter that they've wanted out for a long time out of the UK. And this might be the straw that broke the camel's back. This has been an ongoing thing for decades. They're not interested in being under the rule of the UK. But they voted strongly to stay in, and the only answer to that is simply they have not witnessed firsthand what is going on in Europe. They haven't. And if you had to break this whole thing down, if you had to tear it apart and you had to just try to understand what these people are saying, it really doesn't come down to economics. It doesn't come down to politics, short of they do not want their country overran by millions and millions of Syrian refugees, of these Muslim refugees. They don't want it. They've seen enough of what's gone on, not only in their country, in the London area, they've seen enough what's gone on in Europe, and they've drawn a line. The people do not want it. And if you look at the parallels, it's incredible. Because, yes, there are some people over there saying, oh, well, it's our moral obligation. We've got to have empathy. Isn't it the Christian way to take these people in? And they'll argue that argument. And, okay, if that's how you feel, that's fine. You hear that argument here. But you hear it from the uninformed and uneducated Democrats that are out there. And you hear it from these super wealthy Hollywood people that are just completely out of touch with reality. We argue about it. If you take the politics out of it and you just look at it from an objective point of view at Hollywood, there is not one sane person that says, yeah, you know what, that's a real guy right there. He gets it. He's just an everyday Joe that happens to act. No, the complaint is these people are always out of touch with reality. Always. Very rarely do we say, hey, that guy's got it together. That guy gets it. It's story after story after story about how detached from reality these people are. But somehow when they start talking politics, people want to listen. It makes no sense to me. It makes none. But those of us who have looked at the situation, those of us who have analyzed it and collected the facts, we're not for this. And so you see the parallels. But the UK is much closer to this problem than we are. Because if things stayed the way they were, there's absolutely nothing stopping these refugees from spilling into the United Kingdom more than they have. And the people just don't want it. They're not interested in it. They had rather protect them and theirs than let these people overrun their country. And so they casted a vote to leave the European Union. This European Union that was supposed to be, I remember when it was formed. Man, it was supposed to be great. It was this, and make sure you pay attention to the parallels between this and what the Democrats are doing. It was going to be open borders and free trade. People were going to come and go how they wanted to. There was going to be one currency, and it meant everybody was going to thrive economically. And it was going to be great. They were going to end suffering because they had socialistic principles in there and ideas and even laws that allowed for redistribution of wealth to help the poor, these entitlements. It was going to be fantastic. And they even had a currency, the euro. And when this whole thing started, the euro was going to take over the dollar for the baseline and the backing of everything that went on in the world. That was the concern. And those of us here in the United States were concerned because the fact of the matter is, when it comes to this world economy, our economy is going nowhere or the whole world is going to follow us. That's why when you see situations of dips and recessions, I always tell people, don't worry. Because if our economy completely collapses and this thing doesn't come back, we've got bigger problems because the entire world's economy has collapsed. You'd better grab your gun and get ready for war and quit worrying about your retirement, because that's where we're going if the United States economy collapses. But there was this talk that the euro was going to take over the dollar. It never happened. None of it ever happened. In fact, what happened is what all of us on the right predicts happened. Socialism got put in place into a lot of countries, and socialism does what socialism does. Economies and countries started falling. Look at Greece. France is knocking on the door. Germany was knocking on the door. People were poor. They were out of work. They were unemployed. They were hungry. But the rich kept getting richer. Those at the top just kept lining their pockets. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It does exactly what history said it was going to do. And when you tie all that up into a nice little bow, the UK said, hey, no more. We're out. Well, there are some consequences for this vote, quite frankly. One, Prime Minister Cameron's out. He hitched his wagon to this idea of the EU and staying in the EU and saying this is the only way we're going to thrive economically, that he has no choice but to go down with the ship. His political career is ruined for this swing and miss, for him not being, and hear me, in touch with the people. Much like this president isn't in touch with his people. So he came out this morning and he's going to resign. He's going to exit slowly. I think they said 3 months is the number, and he's out. He's out of there. Because he's so convicted that his conviction is so high that the UK, even though it's been around for thousands of years, it cannot possibly survive without being in the UK. Or in the EU. What a bunch of crap that is. What a bunch of nonsense that is. It's disgusting. Now, just because the people have voted that they want out doesn't mean they're automatically out. The government can spit right in the people's face and say no. They can do that. Everybody knows it wouldn't be a smart move. We've talked about both political parties here doing that. We talk about the Republican and Democratic Party doing it all the time. It's not a good thing. The consequences are that whole parliament gets reset. But all the indications are they're going to move towards leaving the EU, and it's going to happen. And they're not going to be the last. France has been talking about it for a while. They're sick. I mean, this president of France has had enough of the terrorism and enough of the migrants, and he's ready to leave too. So this could be the first of many dominoes to fall. I don't know why it's a bad thing to be for your country. What's wrong with being a patriot? What's wrong for wanting your country to be great and not give away everything that is great to a collective alignment? Now, keep in mind, those of you who say, oh, well, it's good to share, it's good to cooperate. The United Kingdom did not become what they are because they joined some type of collective group of states. The United States did not turn into the biggest and greatest and most powerful country in the history of mankind by joining some type of collective power. This idea of joining collective powers and these alliances with other countries where there are no borders and free trade and we're just one, this is a new idea. This isn't how countries and empires grew to be great. They grew to be great by war. By taking what they felt was theirs. That's how you grow to be great. And I'm not saying that's appropriate anymore. Don't mishear me. But what I am saying is you don't do it by alliances and giving away everything you have. That's nonsense. Fair trade is a good thing. Closed borders are even better. And the people of the UK get it. And make no mistake about it, the people of the United States see what's going on. They understand it. And slowly but surely, people are waking up. Ask the LGBT community how well those Democrats support them. That was their crown jewel. That was their token demographic for so long. Now it's the Muslims. Ask the black community out there how well the Democrats have served them. Are the majority of the African American community not still impoverished? Are they not still being killed by each other constantly? Who has facilitated lifting them up? Nobody. Because they've hitched their wagon to the Democrats. Americans are waking up, and this is a good thing. And we have tried so hard to follow suit of what's going on in Europe by letting all these people in. Well, finally somebody stand up and said, enough's enough. Perhaps we need to follow suit there as well.
The Gavin Mitchell Show. It's summertime again, ladies. Time to break out those sandals and give your toenails a little TLC. The nail technicians at Friendly Nails in Cleburne, Texas are ready to provide you with professional and friendly service. From manicures to pedicures and a variety of specialized services such as acrylic nails, facials, and waxing. Custom designs and a variety of stones to accent your nails are also available. The technicians at Friendly Nails are all licensed and trained in the latest technology and have experience applying every kind of polish on the market. So stop by and be treated like royalty. Relax in their massage chairs and unwind. Full body massage therapy is also available by appointment only. For all you guys wanting to give your special lady a little treat, $50 gift certificates are available now for $40, and anyone who mentions hearing about Friendly Nails on the Gavin Mitchell Show or KLIF will get $10 off any $50 purchase. Friendly Nails is open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Located at 180 North Ridgeway Drive in Cleburne, Texas. Call them at 817-641-3400. Walk-ins are welcome.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-525-8479 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-525-8479 to take your call now. Call 1-800-525-8479. That's 1-800-525-8479. Again, 1-800-525-8479.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity, lifetime lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed, so it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Twisted Roads Trading Post in Crowley, Texas is your premier biker apparel, leather, and accessories store. Stop in and visit with brothers Ron and Carl Phillips. Twisted Roads Trading Post carries leather jackets, chaps, vests, accessories, gifts, and more. Open 6 days a week, Tuesday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Sundays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Got a motorcycle or truck to sell? Their park and sell lot is now available and anxious to show off your ride. Visit us for sewing, embroidery, and t-shirt printing services. Airbrush services by our friends at Kingdom Custom Creations are also available throughout the week. Call today or visit twistedroadstradingpost.com or find and like them on Facebook. Located west of Crowley on FM 1187, then south on FM 1902. Go 1.3 miles and look for the flags. 817-768-8761. That's 817-768-8761. Twisted Roads Trading Post. If the flags are flying, we're open.
Let's get back to the program. If you're sick of the garbage that comes out of Washington, D.C., then it's time to arm yourself with knowledge from the Blue Collar Professor. Here's your host, Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
If you are looking for the program, you can find it 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, on conservativeradionetwork.com. That's 5 p.m. Central. You can find us on K98 Talk, the 405 Media, High Plains Radio, and Sackheads Radio Media. You can find us on demand, iTunes, Spreaker, TuneIn, and Google Play as well. And then each and every Saturday night, we do it every week, 8 p.m. Central, on News and Information 570 KLIF in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you are not in Dallas-Fort Worth, fear not. You can still get the show via KLIF.com. They have a stream there. You can get it on conservativeradionetwork.com, our flagship station on the internet. Ron streams it there as well. And then John, our good buddy at the 405 Media, has been nice enough to stream it there as well. So 3 opportunities to get a hold of the show if you are outside the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And the reason we do that show on Saturday night, the reason we choose to work 6 days a week and not enjoy our weekends, but we go to work for you, is so that you can be a part of the program. You can pick up the phone. We can have a conversation on the air. It's a one time a week. We can get that done. We are happy to do it. We are excited to do it. And I encourage you, pick up the phone, give us a call, be a part of the conversation. Well, let's turn our attention back home. Hillary Clinton is in more trouble. It's more lies. It's more deceit. It's disgusting who and what she really is, and the fact that there are people out there that think this is a good option to lead the free world. Blown away that people can come to that conclusion a lot. I don't understand it. Well, Gavin, what are you talking about? We know about the emails. We know about Benghazi. We know about Clinton Cash. We know about this book that's coming out from the Secret Service agent that shows us who she really is behind closed doors. We know that every time she's asked a directed question to be held to account, she lies. And then the evidence comes and then she lies some more. What else could you be talking about? Could it be the vacuum she left in the Middle East? No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Iran deal, a former top Clinton administration diplomat. His name is Thomas Pickering. He also served as the co-chairman of the board examining the Benghazi attack response. So this guy works for the Clintons, or at least used to, and somehow he's going to co-chair the board examining Benghazi. Conflict in interest? Nah, probably not. We have found out that he was actually paid by Boeing to lobby to get this Iran deal done. Boeing lined his pockets for him to solicit members of Congress. He testified before Congress. He fought hard to get this deal done. All while his pockets are being lined by Boeing. And we've talked about why this deal was important to Boeing. Boeing paid off a number of GOP Capitol Hill members, a number of them, to hand over their authority to the president so he could cut a deal. So that this deal wouldn't be subject to checks and balances with Iran. And this guy is being paid to lobby them, and he got it done, and he stood to make a ton of money. A ton of money. And I just find it fascinating that this person used to work for Clinton, was responsible for investigating the Benghazi deal, and maybe that's why nothing came out of it. Her inside people were doing the investigation, but then, in the spirit of lining your pockets, in the spirit of making money, at the sake of keeping this country and the world safe, they chose to line their pockets and they went and cut a deal with this guy to lobby Congress so that they could sell planes to Iran. It's fascinating, but it doesn't stop there. We're not done with Hillary Clinton yet. Not even close. The Associated Press reviewed Hillary Clinton's calendar. And what you have to understand about this is there's a calendar, I guess like a Google calendar or the calendar you keep on your computer. There's that one that she works off of. And I'm sure her assistant or whomever it is makes sure that's up to date and working so that she can get it on this prohibited BlackBerry, right? So there's that one. And then there is the schedule released to the press and to the public about what she's doing and where she's going. And I understand the need to omit things there because of safety, right? You don't want to say, hey, the Secretary of State will be leaving a meeting with the president at the White House. We'll go 2 blocks and take a right, go 1 block and take a left to where she'll have a meeting with her husband at lunch at this hotel. You don't want to do that. That's dumb. The problem is that the Associated Press has found over 75 meetings with longtime political donors that have been thrown out of this calendar. They weren't recorded anywhere. Nowhere. And that there are people saying, and there are emails found that said, I don't want them to be able to get their hands on this. I don't want people to know what I'm doing. Make sure that this stays in the private section. Some of these meetings were with Blackstone Group Chairman Steve Schwarzman, PepsiCo CEO Indra Nooyi, 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 and at the time, the New York Bank of Mellon CEO Robert Kelly. That's just some of them. A lot of these people are responsible for lobbying Congress. A lot of them. Now, the Clinton campaign responded that Clinton has always made an effort to be Clinton has always made an effort to be transparent since entering public life, whether it be released over 30 years of tax returns, years of financial disclosure forms, or asking that 55,000 pages of work emails from her time of Secretary of State be turned over to the public. What? I'm so sick of that garbage. I'm sick of it. So let's talk about those emails she asked to be turned over. It appears that there was an email to her deputy chief of staff stating that she did not want some of her emails to be accessible, presumably to Congress or the State Department itself. And she asked for help on how to hide this. She didn't want any part of some of these emails getting out. But she swore in a statement that she handed over all of her emails. But remember, there are some missing. Now here's the smoking gun. She didn't want these emails getting out. The email in question popped up in the Inspector General's report, and I guess it took some time to find. Quote, in November 2010, Secretary Clinton and her Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations discussed the fact that Secretary Clinton's emails to department employees were not being received. Clinton's Deputy Chief of Staff told her, we could talk about putting you on the state email or releasing your email address to the department so you are not going to spam. Problem is she would send emails and they'd go to the spam box. Hillary Clinton replied, "Let's get separate addresses or device, but I don't want any risk of the personal being accessible." Oh, why not? It's shady. It's shady to say the least, and it just underscores that, I don't want to use this term crooked because it's been overplayed, but she's a shady character. We know she's dishonest. We know she's not transparent. We know she's deceitful. We know she's just downright evil. She is the leader of this liberal left. She is everything that is bad when it comes to politics. But yet there's still roughly half of America that think that's a good choice.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Are you getting squeezed by the economic downturn? Hey, you were doing fine. Then, all of a sudden, you're having a tough time paying your family's credit card bills. Maybe you were downsized or even lost a job, but you still owe $10,000 or more in credit card bills. And you just can't afford the minimum payments anymore. We're here to help. We are the Genesis Debt Partners. We know the secrets to negotiate better terms with your creditors. Make a free 10-minute call right now and learn how we can help you get out of debt. 800-807-9767. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt and you want to learn how you can pay less and get out of debt faster, call right now. 800-807-9767. 800-807-9767. Get out of debt now. 800-807-9767.
Hey everybody, your pal Gavin Mitchell here from my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping. We all have that embarrassing spot in our yard we just can't seem to get grass to grow. Or perhaps you're tired of pumping hundreds and thousands of dollars into your yard just to get it to turn green when the weather warms up. Or maybe the constant maintenance is just too much to bear. Well, my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping are the most respected synthetic grass installation specialist in North Texas. Locally owned and operated, they have installed over 1 million square feet of the highest quality grass made right here in the USA. And I know what you're thinking. Is it pet and child friendly? You bet it is. So whether you want your yard looking picture perfect year round, no matter what the season is, or perhaps you'd like a putting green in the backyard to keep your husband home on Saturdays, give my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping a call today. 214-298-7726. That's 214-298-7726. Or find them at TexasEliteLandscaping.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls? Start saving thousands in interest and fees and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-824-3301. 800-824-3301. That's 800-824-3301. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. Again, 800-631-9123.
Hey, liberals, try rooting for your own country for a change. Our blue-collar educator of all things common sense does. Now, back to the Gavin Mitchell Show.
So speaking of Hillary, you bring up Hillary, you got to recognize that Bernie is still hanging out there. He hadn't suspended his campaign. He's still alive and kicking. Now, he has admitted that he will probably not be the party's nominee. He gets that. But he has made it clear that he's going to hold on. He's going to stick around as long as he possibly can because he wants to, quote, reinvigorate the Democratic Party. He has some issues that he wants the party to accept into their platform. He wants them to build around it. And he figures the best way to do so is win as many delegates as possible, have that representation at the convention. That way he can get his agenda advanced. The stronger showing he has at the convention, the better off he is. But he was asked on MSNBC earlier this week, who are you going to vote for? You're obviously not going to be the, and I'm paraphrasing, you're obviously not going to be the Democratic nominee. Who are you going to vote for? And he said he was going to vote for Clinton because electing Trump would be a disaster for U.S. interests around the globe, he claims. And they said, well, look, is the vote for Clinton, would it be one for Clinton or one against Trump? And he responded, well, I don't want to parse words right now. So there you have it. Bernie refuses to endorse Hillary Clinton. Won't even acknowledge that his vote for Hillary Clinton isn't really for Hillary, but against Donald Trump. But he's got his own little agenda. He's working in the background. He's almost like, forgive me for saying this, I don't know who it insults more, but it's almost like a Democratic Mitt Romney. Always in the background, a whole lot irrelevant, causing problems where he can. This is a great thing for those of us on the right, but if you're on the left, you've got to be just as furious with Bernie Sanders that he won't go away after he lost as we are with Mitt Romney. You have to be. Because he won't even come out and get behind their own candidate. He say, yeah, I'm going to vote for Clinton. And he's effectively saying because it's the worst of, or the best of two evils. But he's not going to parse words. But sometimes saying nothing at all speaks louder than saying what you think or what you mean or flat out lying. I found it incredibly interesting that Bernie will not endorse. And it comes back to that question we asked about Paul Ryan. He said he's going to vote for Trump. Is that not an effective endorsement? Is that not what it is? It absolutely is. I love the play on words. I love the politics. It's incredibly, it's just fascinating. That's why I'm so hooked on this. Coming up next, the ACLU is taking a stand on guns, and I think it's going to surprise you.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
You hear the headlines. You know health insurance is a real mess right now. Premiums have skyrocketed, and in most cases, you're stuck with your plan until open enrollment. But there's a government rule that allows you to qualify for lower health insurance rates if your life has changed. That means if you've changed jobs, if you're having a child, if you're getting married, if you're getting divorced, even if you run a small business or you're self-employed, this law may qualify you to get lower health insurance rates. Call the Health Insurance Hotline today. Learn how this 10-minute call can help you get lower health insurance rates. This is a free service to help consumers learn the laws to help them qualify for lower health insurance rates. So call right now to learn more. 800-926-4501, 800-926-4501, 800-926-4501, 800-926-4501.
Hey folks, Gavin Mitchell here. If you're in the market for a new car or truck, Jerry Chevrolet in Weatherford has been family owned and operated for nearly 50 years, and my family has done business with Jerry for 25 of those. Jerry's proudly built a reputation of working hard to provide their customers with great service and exceptional value. Jerry Chevrolet has hundreds of new trucks in stock, and they are always marked with the absolute lowest price. Come test drive the Chevy Silverado or the Colorado today and get yourself a $25 prepaid Visa gift card for doing it. When you go online at jerrychevytexas.com, Jerry will offer you a $25 prepaid Visa gift card just for stopping in. No purchase necessary. It's as easy as that. If you have a trade-in, Jerry Chevrolet is always looking for quality used cars, and you can go to jerrychevytexas.com today and find out what your vehicle is worth. Buy new roads at Jerry Chevrolet in Weatherford and at jerrychevytexas.com. Come out our way and trade your way. Tell them Gavin sent you.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. That's 800-398-8309.
Hey everybody, Gavin Mitchell from The Gavin Mitchell Show here. Of course you can find our show every week on our flagship station, News and Information, 570 AM KLIF, but sometimes once a week just isn't enough. I would encourage you to go out to our website, www.thegavinmitchellshow.com, and there you'll find a plethora of information about the show, including archived episodes of our daily podcast. You'll find a blog written by me and other conservative writers, and entertaining videos that are available with the Gavin Mitchell Experience. I would encourage you to follow us on Twitter at The GM Show. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/The Gavin Mitchell Show. And of course, we are on our flagship station for the internet, conservativeradionetwork.com, with the most talented conservative podcasters in the country. So be sure to tune in Saturdays at 8 p.m. right here on News and Information 570 AM KLIF, or through the week at conservativeradionetwork.com or www.thegavinmitchellshow.com.
If you happen to drive by the studios during a commercial break and you see a guy on the roof waving an American flag, that's our blue-collar doctor of common sense. And now here he is, your host, Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
So this past week, we have had a filibuster on the Senate floor because they wanted to debate and vote up or down on gun control measures. Well, we did that. And everybody played politics. Nobody caved in. The left didn't even pick up the yardage they could gain. It didn't score them a touchdown, but they could have grabbed some yardage and moved forward down the field. They refused to. They said the Republicans' proposals didn't go far enough. Well, the right wouldn't even consider the left because there's no due process in some of what they're wanting to do when it comes to taking guns away from people. So the Senate did their thing, over and done. Well, the House decides that because they don't have filibusters, they're going to run a publicity stunt to raise money, even though they know that anything they're trying to do isn't going to work because the bill they wanted to vote on died in committee. It didn't even get out of committee to get to the floor for a vote. And even if it did pass the House, it was going to die in the Senate. So it was a publicity stunt. Well, Susan Collins, a senator from Maine, has issued some bipartisan legislation that is backed by Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid. And it's a compromise of what Dianne Feinstein threw out there. Now, I'm willing to guess that it doesn't go far enough when it comes to due process because Dianne Feinstein issued an amendment on the Senate floor that said if you're on this no-fly list, you don't get a gun. It's that simple. And this selectee list, if you're on either one of those, you don't get a gun. And the right said, no, you don't just get to arbitrarily put people on a list. There's got to be due process to strip away a constitutional right. And so John Cornyn threw his bill out there and he said, look, if you're on that list, you got to wait 72 hours to get your firearm. And during that 72 hours, if the government wants to, if they see a need to, they can have a hearing in a court of law. And if they can prove probable cause, not beyond a shadow of doubt, not beyond a reasonable doubt, not absolutely, not definitively, you just need probable cause. Yeah, there might be. It's not even a preponderance of the evidence. It's just got to be, there might be something going on here. That's probable cause. where a reasonable person thinks, you know what, we need to dig further in this situation. That's probable cause. And so Cornyn said, look, if you're on that list, you don't get a gun, 72 hours, the government has to come prove probable cause, and then you don't get the gun. That didn't go far enough for the Democrats. So they shot it down. Well, now there's this bipartisan effort by Collins and Reid that is some type of amendment that lands somewhere in the middle between what Feinstein proposed and what Cornyn proposed. It all deals around this no-fly list and the selectee list. Well, the ACLU has weighed in. We know the ACLU well. They rear their heads all the time. And we're not big fans of them. But even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. In a letter to Congress, quote, the ACLU strongly urges you to vote against the Collins Amendment because it uses the error-prone and unfair watch list system along with vague and overbroad terms as a predicate for proceeding to deny a firearms permit. The ACLU believes implementing the Collins Amendment would serve to further enrich a watch list system that is rife with problems, adding that the current watch list is unreliable because it uses vague and overbroad criteria and secret evidence to place individuals on blacklists without a meaningful process to correct government error and clear their names. Does this not sound exactly like what we've been screaming right here on this program? The nonprofit organization also noted the fact that nominations to the master watch list need not be based on concrete facts. It permits placement on the master watch list based on uncorroborated or even questionably reliable information. It's exactly what we've been saying. And you hear this mess from the left. Oh, that list isn't arbitrary. It's not arbitrary at all. In fact, that list is put together by government professionals who want to keep America safe, and they don't ever make mistakes. It's the government. The government makes mistakes all the time. In fact, I would argue they get things wrong more than they get it right. No offense if you work at the government. That's just bureaucracy. Swinging and missing is something they do. They believe government is like baseball. If you fell 7 out of 10 times, you're going to the Hall of Fame. That's what they believe. That's how they operate. And the fact that people want to strip Second Amendment rights away without due process, that's the whole hang-up here. I have zero problem if you want to run somebody through the gamut for them to be able to buy an AR-15. Have at it. Because the law-abiding citizens, they may get frustrated, but they're willing to do it. It's just like the lines at the airport. Is it frustrating? Yes, but we're willing to do it. It's the same difference with buying a gun. The problem is that even with these measures, this terrorist in Orlando still gets his gun. He's still able to buy his gun. He wasn't on that watch list, even though he had been investigated by the FBI twice. Now, granted, they didn't have enough evidence to hold him, but they never put him on the watch list. Not once. But somehow this magical list that they put together is going to keep people safe. The same list that had Senator Ted Kennedy, reputable journalist. On and on and on we can go. The left does not care about your constitutional guarantees. They don't care about honoring their deal that the government has with the American people. You know, if you don't pay your bills, there's a word for that. If you borrow money, they call them deadbeats, right? You're not willing to honor your contracts. Now, there might be good reasons why you can't. There might be absolutely legitimate reasons why you can't honor your commitment. Maybe you got laid off. Maybe you got fired. Maybe you're looking for work. Maybe a kid got sick. Something like that. There are reasons that good people can't pay their bills. But there are scumbags out there that will borrow money and not pay it back intentionally. We call them deadbeats. I think the liberal left is a bunch of deadbeats because they're not willing to honor the contract that the government has with the people of the United States. Folks, that's going to do it for this week. Join us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central, News and Information 570 KLIF. In the words of the great Ray Wiley Hubbard, on the days I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations, well, I have really good days. I hope you have a great day. For Ron Phillips, I am Gavin Mitchell. This has been a Pinnacle Broadcast Holdings production.